Okay, before at the beginning of the class, I was telling you that in this example here, we had, in the one that I uploaded today, we had this portion of code that we still don't understand because we still haven't seen what it is. Okay, so first of all, when we are designing or building a web application, can we use any font we want? In theory, yes. But what happens, for instance, when you create a Word document and you apply like a very fancy font that you just have installed in your computer? When you send that to someone else, how will the other person see the font? Yeah, they don't see anything, or in some cases, Word, what it does, it applies like the default font. Because if the font is not installed on the person's computer, then it won't visualize as we are expecting it to visualize. Okay? So here, when we think of a web application, it's still worse, no? Because here, it is supposed to be open to everyone, and anyone can open our web application from any computer, from any device around the world, basically. So we can't expect that all of the users of our web application or all of the users of our website or all of the people that will be visiting our website will have the font we want installed in their computer. So if we use a very specific font, what will happen is that the website and the web application and the layout will visualize super bad. Okay? So which alternatives do we have? We can, on the one hand, download the font and make sure that when a user comes into our web application, the web server retrieves the font so that the user has the font in their browser and can visualize everything fine. Okay? So it's kind of embedding the font into the resources that the web server retrieves to the users so that they can visualize the text with the font that we want. The other alternative is this one, the one we're using here. What are we doing here? We're basically importing the fonts from where? From a website that is called Fonts, the Google Fonts website, basically. Okay? So where are we importing the fonts? In the same section or in the head, that is basically where we set up like all the required resources that we need for our website. The same as the CSS, no? In there we set up like the CSS, but we can also import the fonts that we want to use in our website. In this case, I'm importing this font, Roboto, and this Merriweather font. I am importing some specific weights for that font. And when I already have imported them, then I have the chance in the CSS to use them, no? So I can set the body to be Roboto. That is the one that I imported before. Why, apart from Roboto, I write this sans serif? Or what does it mean to have like two fonts or two font families?
So that if the person that's using the website does not have Roboto, it will automatically go to the next one.
Yeah, it's basically because of that. If the person doesn't have or if the browser for some reason, it won't happen, but let's imagine that the Google Fonts website is down, so I can't download the font from the Google website. So in that case, I'm saying, okay, if the user doesn't have that font, or if I'm not able to get that font, then we will use simple sans serif. That in this case is not a font, but a font family. Okay? Do you know what serif and sans serif means? What does it mean? Yeah, like the extensions of the angle of the font. It's difficult to explain, but this. So the serif is the one that has these curly ends, and the sans serif is the one that doesn't have anything. Okay. So this one is typically more formal, and this one is more simple, more modern typography, typeface. Okay. So the question would be, how do we know which fonts we want to use and how to import them? So to that we come here to the fonts.google.com, and here basically we can find like thousands of fonts for our website. Of course, the idea is not to exaggerate using like 10 different fonts in the website. At most, maybe 2. One for the titles, and the other one for the text, and maybe other for the links, and that's all. Yeah.
And what if we wanted to use custom fonts not on the internet?
In that case, you download the font, and you make sure that the web server, when it retrieves the HTML and the CSS to the users, it retrieves also the font, no? So that you are, yeah, somehow passing the user the font so that he can use them, yeah. But here you can find like a huge collection of fonts. So mostly with the Google fonts, we are almost sure that we can get like most of the fonts we would like to use. But here you can, it's nice also because you have like this searching, these filters. I'm not very expert on this, but okay, you can find like Arabic fonts. Okay. Braille. For instance, Cyrillic fonts. So you can find almost all of kind of resources concerning the fonts here. Other than the writing system, you can find the language. So you can make sure that it has, for instance, the accents, the special characters of each language, for instance, the ones that have 2 points or the whatever character we want. Now I haven't seen this, but it seems nice because it lets you like filter the font according to the feeling that you want to convey through a font. So if it is something more vintage, for instance, okay, it will show us the fonts that are more consistent with that feeling. Okay. And once again, let's try to be calm with the fonts, not to use 100 fonts within the website or not to give a different font for each element, but at most 3. It's nice also because it has resources on how to use the fonts. I mean, not just how technically, but how from a design point of view, that most of the times for us computer engineers is difficult to know, but okay, so here there are some guidelines on how to use them. Then when you open a specific font, is also nice because it enables you to write like a preview. Well, and it lets you like to preview how the font would behave and if you want that specific font. How it would see on a paragraph and well. And then when we want finally to get the font in our website, we click Get Font. Okay, first I had also this one. And with the Get Font, let me remember how this worked. But I think you click here on Get Embed Code. Yeah, and we copy this link basically. So you see that here for the web it behaves this way. So we copy the link, we paste here the link, and then in the CSS for instance, instead of this, we set the font family to the one that we have just installed. Okay? So that's basically the procedure when we want to use a custom font, and we will try to get them from Google Fonts. That is like the huge collection of fonts, and it is pretty easy to import in our website. Okay? Okay, so up to now we already know like all of the basic and most advanced CSS concepts, and the next step that will be next week, we will start with Bootstrap. Okay, we will see how the frameworks easy all of these styling and all of this design step. The first lab will be on creating the HTML, on creating the CSS, and try to customize and try to apply the style to the HTML with the CSS we have known so far, okay? But from the next one, we'll be already using Bootstrap. Any questions up to now? Is everything clear? Do we have any difficulties with CSS? Have all of you tried doing the same that we do here on the computer? Does it work? Okay, perfect. Okay, so as I told you yesterday, now we have something important to do, and it is start to think of the application that we want to implement, no? That we will be working on during the semester. So as I told you, in all of the lessons, at the first part we take like the theoretical part, and in the second part we apply what we learn on implementing like collectively an application, okay? And we will incrementally be building that application until the end of the semester. It is super important because this application somehow at the end of the semester becomes like a template or a reference point that you can use to build your own application for the exam, okay? Just to give you an example, last semester we designed, because the first step is always to design the application on paper, no? Also, when you will be working on your exam, don't start directly coding. First, try to draw something on a paper, try to think in your head how your application would behave, and once you have a clear idea on how your application should look and behave, then you can start writing code, no? So, okay, last year the application was the one that I told you, Cheposto, that was to find like free spots for study rooms. And what we did in class was try to all together to design how the graphical interface of that application would look like. Okay, so let's try to do the same this year, but with the application that we decided yesterday. What was the application that we decided yesterday? The one you proposed? Yeah, you. No, you. Yeah.
Platform to let tutors put themselves and let students find tutors, because it has been a problem where there's several different platforms like WhatsApp, Telegram, or posters. So
Yeah.
this service can be quite useful. So we will have like a singular portal for it.
Sure. I like that application. It is. Have you all heard what the application is? Okay. It's an application where we can offer ourselves as tutors to help someone study in some course, and as an student you can also find someone that offers the service to study. Okay, so it's nice because it has like two kinds of users. You can publish yourself as a tutor, but you can also have like another role as a student where you can find someone that help you to study. And based on that, we can also think of integrating a rating functionality so that I can rate the tutor I've been with. Maybe some comments, I can add some comments to the tutor. Maybe we can add filters so that I can do a search with filters to find the tutor that can help me with a specific topic or with a specific condition. And yeah, that's the functionalities that in this moment come to my mind. Do you have in mind any other functionality that we might be thinking on? Rate the tutor. Maybe notifications. No, that when a tutor, you have been contacted by someone, you receive a notification, something like that. Yeah. Maybe a chat. Yeah. Or messages. Yeah, messages. Yeah, messages.
You could also like put like favorite or heart.
Yeah, maybe a heart. Yeah, that like my favorite tutor, something like that. Yeah.
Save to keep in mind in the future.
Sure, that one is important. Like to keep the how do you say the track of all of the tutors that you have contacted before. Yeah, like your history with the previous tutor, something like that. Yeah.
We would try to filter them by subject.
Sure, by subject, by rating, by yeah. Nice. So let's work on that. So what we will try to do now is all together try to think of into the graphical interface of such an application and how we want to, the graphical interface, the graphical layout of the application, okay? So you tell me, how do we how do we design the layout? Okay, so typically what does the website have? All of the websites, of course, have like a header, no? It's like a default component, so well, let's try to draw the header. Okay, the idea is not to make it super nice, but well, just to give an idea of. So this one here should be the heading. Do we have a name for our application? Does any name come to your mind? Imparato. Nice. Do we all agree? Because it meets the condition of finishing with to, that everything here at the Politecnico finishes with to, so imparato might work. Okay? Nice. So, okay. Nice. So we have the header, yeah?
Do we need to take into consideration also different devices?
Different?
Devices.
Yeah, we might also think of that later. Let's try to think of this one as the, yeah, sure, good question. This one, let's try to design first the laptop version, and then we work on the responsive ones, okay? So, okay, we have imparato. What else do we have in the header usually?
Like the search.
Like the search, yeah. Yeah, maybe we can add here like this. You mean something like this? Right. This is like a zoom lens. Like, okay, like the search, yeah.
Is better that we can we put the login on the or the register button on the right and the search button on the center, but on the body.
Okay, maybe, yeah, sure.
So we can implement the students page.
Sure.
And, tutor page.
Yeah, I agree with that. Let me. Okay, so let's remove this one from here. And your proposal is, instead of this, we can have something like login. Like sign in. Or login here. Okay, it usually comes like with an icon of the user. And then the search, where would you place the search field?
I think on the middle of the body. So when I
Like within the content, I mean within the main content, okay.
when I search the site,
Okay.
If I want a same button on the top right.
Okay, perfect. So we will keep in mind the search field to add to add it then later on the main content. Yeah.
This is more like not a design question, but do we want the users to be able to have both student profile and
That's something we have to decide how we will manage that. If I register as a student, will I be able to be also published as a tutor, or do I have to create an additional profile to publish my announcement as a tutor? Yeah, it's something we have, of course, to decide. Yeah. Sure, the navigation bar. With the links, you mean? With the links, like the navigation bar with the... Okay, let's think. Where would you place the navigation bar? Of the header. Okay. 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 So something like this. Kind of, yeah. With different sections. Which sections we might think of?
usually there is the info page of what the website is.
Yeah, so typically there is like that section, who are we? Something like that, okay, we might. Okay, that could be a section. Which one, yeah?
I don't know if for this website it would be useful, but we could have a service status.
Yeah, like the Politos service status online or something like that. Yeah. Why not? Maybe here. Something like that. Okay. Which pages we might be thinking on? Which are like the main functionalities of the website? To? Yeah, to contact or to find the tutors. You mean that one? Okay. How do we name that one? Find a tutor, something like that. I'm writing the links in this way, not because they will be the definite version or, but to make clear what the link, what does it represent. So this one should be like the section or the link that we will click to find a tutor. Yeah.
Maybe we could implement the translation.
The translation, yeah, maybe. Yeah, but maybe I was thinking that one could be in the footer. That is where usually the flags go to show what the, sure. So the search and the translation, we will be adding them. So one functionality, important functionality would be adding a tutor. The other one that comes to my mind is like the history or the track of the previous tutors that I have contacted, you know.
Also, like my list, since we can put like a list of tutors that you were interested in.
Sure, like the preferred, the most liked ones, the favorite ones.
Or your own favorite.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, something like that. Would
I
you?
don't know if it's a function of the website, but maybe like a message thing where you can see the messages you receive from tutors or you can
Okay, sure. Yeah, like my notifications or.
yeah, like I contacted you, you answered something or
Sure, sure, sure. No, that one is.
From the tutor point of view, who contacted you?
See, yeah. Yeah, that one is super important. Okay.
So Professor, we will implement also messaging service.
But a very simple one. Maybe something that in your website, if someone have contact you or if someone have chosen you as the tutor, I'm thinking maybe with what you say, that maybe here in history, well, this depends on the view, because right now, as we are trying to design this, I think we are talking more about the student perspective rather than the tutor perspective, no? So, okay, the history can be like this.
Maybe from the tutor perspective, instead of like define the tutor, you can have like people that contacted you. Since
Yeah.
if you're a tutor, maybe you're just offering your tutoring services instead of defining it.
Sure. In that case, we have that choice, no? That if we are in the tutor perspective, so that this navigation bar changes and it shows like different options depending if you are logged in as a student or as a tutor. That's one option. The other option would be that it's something we have to decide and to reason on. But the other option is that me as a student can also have all the available options to become a tutor. No? So that I don't have to create another profile or go to a different layout to have all of the options there. So that may be.
Yeah, with like example Fiverr, which is similar, or Subito.it, which has both sides. The buyer and the seller, they use the same account, and you can
Yeah.
go to seller mode, and they show you other options.
Sure.
But does that mean we also have to have the interface when it's not logged in?
Yeah.
We also need it. Like,
Sure.
Just to show like possible.
Just to show, yeah. And we also have to define what we want to show when the user is not logged in.
Yeah.
Because if we want to attract people to get signed in our platform, even if they are not still logged in, they must see something that can get their attention. Maybe I'm thinking of, well, let me know what do you think, but something as my announcements, no? Because in this way, the user can have his announcements as the one that he has published as a tutor, but he can also find a tutor. You know what I mean? So that I give both of the options to a person that is at that moment logged in the platform, both in the same navigation bar. I don't know if my announcements or my offers, something like that, but this one is concerning to what he can do when he publishes himself as a tutor, while the links in red are the ones that he can see as a person that has contacted a tutor as a student. Yeah.
I think that there should also be a box, say on the side, where all the current lectures are listed. Kind of like
This one, that one would be history, no? Like the second link.
for example, on the Politecnico website,
Like a
where
schedule? No, tipo una tabella.
The website for the Politecnico, it says the current classes and the lectures.
Sure, like the calendar, something like that.
Yeah, also that.
Okay. Some functionality like showing you which are your appointments
Like
by on the week table, like
Like a timetable.
like a timetable. You mean? Okay. Sure. But I think that one is concerned like how do we visualize the history, no? If you want to visualize the history like a list of all of the appointments that you have with a tutor, or if we want to show that into a calendar or into a week table to show specifically at what time do you have the history, the appointments.
Okay, sorry. Can I show you?
Sure.
So it was.
Okay, so the list of the appointments on the right and on the left and on the right, you can see like the time slots.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
so-
a calendar, basically.
Like the calendar, yeah.
Wait, sorry. Yeah, this is also something that should be present on the page.
Okay.
But, again, that's something good. But now I was actually referring to the box that's under it.
Okay.
It says, well, here it's just.
Can you show it to me here so I can take a look? No, it's fine, it's fine. What do you mean?
Okay, so it's this one.
Okay, and in this case is to show what?
Like, so in this
If
case,
in
it
this
shows-
moment you should be
Yeah.
attending.
Yeah, exactly. Or in general. No,
La-
yeah.
Something like the current status of the user. If okay, perfect, I get it. Thank you.
Like upcoming lessons.
Yeah, like the upcoming lessons or the lessons that right now are happening. No, so right now the person has these appointments fixed. Also, because if we want to make it even better, when someone wants to contact you, the person that wants to contact you should be able to see which are your available times. No? At which time you still can do it. A second. Yeah? You were going to say something? Yeah.
I was going to ask something about, for example, in the Politecnico website, for the navigation bar, we have like the pop-up thing.
Yeah?
Like when you go in Spotify, when you go on like top of it,
Yeah.
there are some like options showing up.
Sure.
Like, I was going to ask like if you like can do this.
Sure. And in that case, it would be also cleaner and maybe more structured because we can have like one link, like my announcements, and another click, my tutors, something like that. So on the one hand, you can find the services that you have as a student, and then on the other side, the services that you have as a tutor.
I was going to say, like in some websites, I don't see it on the tutoring websites, but on, for example, freelancer website or for like Etsy or like selling websites, there are switch options. You can like choose to stay in the like, for example, tutor profile,
Yeah?
or you directly switch to the student profile. You don't have to look like it, but there's like an option to.
That could be also like an option, like this kind of button. No. The one that has like one here, and for instance, let's say that this one is a student, and this one is a tutor, no? That by changing the button, you change the profile, and it would be super nice if the menu adapts to the profile that the user has at that moment. Yeah, so that kind of interaction we might think of. Up to now, let's try just to do like the layout, and then we can try to think how these elements could behave. Okay, but yeah, for sure that could be super nice. Yeah, you were going to tell me?
Are we thinking more about one-to-one tutoring sessions or group tutoring?
Nice question.
Because if it's groups, we can have like a timetable as they do for gym classes,
Yeah.
with all the tutors available, when they're available, what they're gonna do in that time.
Okay.
If it's one-to-one, have like a notification or a message service where you can contact the tutor and decide based on when they're available.
Sure.
More like a flexible thing.
Sure. Yeah, it depends because, for instance, if it is a group session, it could be as simple as when I'm going to contact you as a tutor, I can specify how many, like just a text box in which I can indicate how many people is coming with me, and if you agree with that. And
Like a sign up for the class.
yeah, and in that case, my request to a tutor would have like just an additional field in which I indicate how many people is coming with me, and we solve that functionality. The other option would be that to indicate like the specific list of people that is coming with me. That in that case is much more difficult than that because we just don't want to know how many people is coming, but which people is coming. Okay. So this is a very good example on how a design decision has huge repercussions on everything. Because if we want to implement the one or the other one, it has an impact on the database, it has an impact on the layout, it has an impact on everything. So, well, yeah, in this case, it is you who decide, I mean, all of you who decide how do you want to implement that. So which one makes more sense to you?
Maybe like the group ones.
The group ones?
Easier to like.
And how do you imagine getting an appointment, a group appointment?
It's like there are it's like classes where you can sign up, and each person individually can sign up to a class. There's like a maximum availability of places
Okay.
for a specific tutoring class, and you can just sign up.
Sure. The only thing, yeah, but the only thing that I'm not sure is because in theory, the advantage to get a tutor is that it's super personalized on what you need to study with him, no? So, for instance, in the Introduction to Web Application course, I'm having issues with the CSS because I don't understand that. So the idea of getting a tutor is that he can focus on you on what is your specific problem. But if it becomes like a class, would it work?
Like a small class?
Like a small class?
Like 4 or 5 people,
Okay.
10 people, like
Okay,
we have
okay.
small classes.
Well, in this case, you know it more than me. When you contact a tutor, do you usually go one-to-one, or do you have any of you?
I haven't personally contacted the tutor, but during the first year, the Politecnico offered like tutoring for physical, no?
Okay.
And we could all go to this class, and we had the tutors that made us like do exercises, explained how to do them. So it was
Okay.
like
Okay.
groups.
Okay.
Or
Okay.
for analysis, there was a tutor available, like you could just go and ask questions about what you wanted. Was not,
Okay.
physics one was more like a lecture.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. So, yeah, I agree. So we right here. Okay, so we'll have group sessions. Nice. And we then have to think how to deal with them. I mean, in the graphical interface and in the application, how to deal with the group sessions. But okay, nice.
Maybe to simplify the group sessions, when we book a tutoring session, we can ask if we want one-to-one private or I'm open for a group session.
Sure.
So if my friends also want to join me, they will log into their own account and pick the same option.
Sure.
Maybe this could make it more simple.
That maybe this case leads us to think of a search section, no? Or a filter section,
Yeah.
so that we can find the tutors based on some conditions, based on their name, based on if it is one-to-one or if it is a group session. So I'm thinking maybe
Maybe we can have both options, like group sessions, and then you can contact a specific tutor for individual ones or something.
yeah. So that maybe we can search by name, by the tutor name here, but we can also find by type, no? If it is one-to-one, if it is group session, if it is, well, I don't know if we can think of another type. Maybe we can find by subject. So, for instance, well, being the subject, maybe the course, no? So, for instance, in this case, it would be introduction to web applications, something like that. Maybe by rating.
Rating, price.
Price, of course. So, for instance, rating. And in the rating, it would be nicer if it would be like something like this, like. And you can like select how many stars that the user that you want to have. The price. So it can be something like, have you seen this one? Like those three to indicate from the cheapest one to the most expensive one.
Maybe like the day of the week.
Sure.
Or the time, like morning, afternoon.
Yeah, like the availability, something like that, or like the date. Here with the date, we can think of, have you seen like the calendar component that you usually use when you find something with a date that it opens like a calendar and you can select which are the available dates, or something like the typical. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, so maybe here we can have like that search section, okay? Okay, anyway, no worries, because I will publish this on the website anyway, so I will share it with all of you. Nice. Yeah. Like a ranking.
No, most requested courses.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I agree. Like the most popular courses. Courses or tutors? Do we want to show like the most courses? Yeah. Yeah, maybe I agree with that. Yeah. In there? Both of them, these ones?
And like underneath it's running down or something like some types like that. So for example, it will show up preview for all of them.
Okay.
And then you will be able to click them separately to show like see all of it. But they will be like not two separate blocks but inside
Ah, but you mean concerning these ones, the most popular ones? That you have like the most popular courses, and then
Like having both of them,
yeah.
but
Ah, within the same section. I mean, within the same aside. You mean?
yes.
So you mean something like? Something like this? Perfect, yeah. Yes, I agree. Maybe with some color distinction, but at the end they belong to the same section of the website. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
You also like you find the most popular courses and then you get like a menu where you find the most popular tutors.
Ah, yeah, but it should be in that page, no? Yeah. I mean, it redirects us to that page, and within that page you can see like the most popular courses with the most popular tutors. Yeah. Because this one, okay, this is important because here we are trying to think of the landing page, like the home page. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if different, but maybe a help button or like a help section.
Like a?
Help section.
What do you mean?
But like, just in general, if something happens and like someone has some questions, or if there's like a
Ah, okay, yeah. The frequently asked questions section.
for example, like there is usually a question mark,
Sure. Yeah.
and when you write it, then there's like another slide
Sure.
that shows like frequently asked questions and then content.
Okay, I agree. Where would you put that question mark?
Either on like next to the sign in login parts or in the navigation bar and
At the last, yeah. So Bob, for now, let's put it. Let's suppose that the navigation bar comes up. Yeah, like the help section, something like that. Yeah.
I would argue that whoever we help should be in footer.
Should be.
Be in the footer.
Or maybe in the footer, yeah. But the problem with the footer is that it's at some point is hidden. You don't know what you will find in the footer, no? So it's not something that the user will immediately see when he gets into our site. So if it is the kind of help that you want to make explicit that we have frequently asked questions, maybe the question mark at the beginning is something that gives you a hint.
Press it. Yeah, it also is a page of help or maybe like an anchor to go to, right?
Yeah, or maybe something like that. Or anyway, we can leave it in the navigation bar and also in the footer at something like frequently asked questions. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, 1 and 2. Yeah. Yeah. You?
For the footer, we could add a feedback option.
Yeah, like in the footer we can add like yeah, that option. Okay, we'll go to the footer. Don't forget that. We still have time. Yeah.
Maybe as a design choice, we can have who agree just on the main page before you log in. When you log in, you don't need that. It doesn't make sense to
Sure.
have that like with your phone.
So this who are we?
And maybe also some of the options that you see when you log in, you don't see them on the main page because like history doesn't make sense if you don't log in.
Sure, and also this one. Yeah, I agree. There are some sections.
Only when you are logged in, history.
The
History only when you're logged
when you logged in. If, yeah, it's the opposite indeed.
or like even announcements just when you're logged in.
If logged in.
Maybe if you're not logged in, you can have find tutors, find classes,
Yeah,
like
just to find, and if
or
when,
available classes
yeah,
as subjects or
sure.
those kind of things just to tell you, hey, we have these options available.
And if you want to get them, then I will force you to log in or to sign in. Yes, I agree, of course, of course. Do we want to add any advertising to our website?
Yes.
Or we are not expecting to earn any money?
The most important thing, the money.
Yeah.
It should be the first part.
So since we want to earn some money, where would you place the advertising?
Maybe
The whole page?
like discounts available.
Okay, then we have to think which kind of advertising, but for instance,
-20%.
yeah, minus, or like a premium subscription, something like that. But let's think that maybe, well, in here, we can have some advertising, just to set like that area for the advertising. We still don't know which kind of advertising, but it's fine. Yeah? But there? Okay. Ah, okay, yeah, something like that, like some kind of animation that appears to you, giving you the chance to become a premium, or yeah. Okay, yeah, sure, I agree that that might also work. Well. Yeah. I mean, as you can see, doing the mock-up of the website is not trivial, because when you are trying to draw it, it comes to your mind, is this what I'm going to show when this interaction hasn't already happened, or is the one that I'm doing when the interaction has already happened? How many buttons am I going to show? Am I going to show who are we if the user is already inside? So it's not trivial to find the way to present everything. In real life, I don't know if you know Figma, but there are like these mock-up programs that help you somehow to represent the possible interactions that you might have on the website, and try to think of the different views and the different pages that you will be showing depending on the interactions of the user. Because with the paper, we are doing something static, but with the website, it will be something dynamic that, depending on how the user behaves, will change visually how it presents, okay? So this is just to get an idea, and this is useful because it will help us to define which will be like the general structure and the general layout of our website. Based on this drawing, we can, for instance, distinguish which one will be the header, which one will be the footer, if there will be any aside, any section, any main content. So based on this, we can start building the structure of our website. But of course, it's super difficult like to capture all of the website into a single drawing. Anyway, it's super important that when you will be working on your projects, you start by doing this, not by coding, okay? Because here, by doing this drawing, many questions arise, and many of these questions are questions that all of us have to do. Indeed, that's one of the reasons why when I will publish the final exam, I give you like 2 or 3 days to ask questions, because there are some things that in my mind, when I write the text for the exam, might be clear, or that I can imagine somehow, but maybe based on your experience and your expectations, you can understand in a different way. So to make sure that all of the requisites and all of the specifications are super clear, we have to do this like design step, okay? Nice, but now we have the platform, we have the title for the platform, and we almost have a defined structure. So from the next class up to the end of the semester, we will be working with this in mind, okay? Any questions? Everything clear? Okay, so I think we can stop here.